Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or the press, or the right of people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Hey y'all, it's Mamaw and welcome back to Taco Tuesday. Patsy is wet in North Idaho. Well, it could be snow, but I guess y'all like snow. I don't like snow. Mary said she was just hanging around waiting. Well, your wait's over. I got lots and lots to cover tonight. Patricia's joining from Nebraska Sandhills. Well, I'm glad that you were able to join. I've got Marcy, cousin Marcy in Memphis. She's bragging about the weather. I'm going to have to get down there and see you. Let's see. We're moving along here. We got Linda in Iowa, Lisa in Minnesota, Christy in New Mexico. Now everybody's hopping on. Kelly in Texas. Hey, Mary, how are you? Hey, Kim Ely, how are you? Carrie in Vermont. Leanne from Minnesota also. Sue in Michigan. Misty in Sedro-Woolley, Washington. Boy, that's a mouthful. Hey, Brenda Aubrey. Happy Taco Tuesday to you, too. Tony's in Columbus. Get up to 100. And then, like I said, I got a lot to cover here. Callista, I'm glad you could join us. Let's see. Tamara from Illinois. Linda from Missouri. Got another Southern Idaho. It's in the 70s. Stephanie from Rhode Island. How are you? Patricia in the Catskills of New York. We've got Chattanooga, Tennessee in the house. Hey, Bobby. She's in Southeastern. She's just up on the hill from me. Marlene. Okay, we're over 100 and I got lots to cover tonight. Now, first of all, I do not have my intern Dylan tonight, but I think I get everything loaded on here. You just have to be patient because I'm a little slow. I've got lots and lots I need to show you this evening, but you can see everybody jumping on. I put our comments on the side there so you can see those. So first of all, let me get back over here. We have no Kings. I personally will be in Chillicothe, Ohio. Let me try it on this way. There we go. I will be in Chillicothe, Ohio, noon to 3 on No Kings Day. For all you porch sitters that come to Chillicothe, we'll all get us a nice group photo when you show up. If you need to know nationwide where you can go for Saturday, if you go, I put the address up there at nokings.org. They've made it very simple. You just put in your zip code and then it will give you locations near you. You click on the location and it'll give you the exact address and the times. So be sure to use that tool. It's really handy, but the important thing is to show up. And it doesn't matter if you make a handwritten sign or you get something fancy. You show up Saturday because we have got to show up and do something. Important dates for Ohioans. Now, this is just Ohioans. The last day to register to vote is Monday, April 6th. Nationwide, if you have not had your primary yet, please, this week, make sure your ID and your voter registration addresses match, that everything's on the up and up, and that you are registered to vote. If you haven't voted in a couple of years, you may have been removed from the roll. So make sure you check and make sure you're voting, because we need to show up in record numbers in the primaries as well as in November. Now, tomorrow, I will be meeting with senatorial candidate Sherrod Brown, who used to be our senator, with a group of veterans to talk about veterans issues that are coming up. And you know how good Taco's been to veterans with what he's done to the VA and what he's done to veteran services because of Doge cuts, and how he wants to give himself the Congressional Medal of Honor. Yeah, bless his heart. That ought to be a good meeting. Okay, moving on. Now be patient with me. It's going to take me a minute here. Let's see. I got to take this one off. Okay, so I can turn that one off. Okay, I'm doing good here. Remove that from the stage. I want to thank Brenda Aubrey for my merch line. Um, you can do something just as simple as one of these buttons that she's designed. We've got shirts and everything. You know, we've got protest season coming up, as well as going to a lot of meetings and stuff. So get your Mammal merch and let people ask questions. Then you'll know if they're truly a porch sitter or not. If you'll look at the bottom, there's the address, or you can just take your camera right there and snap that QR code, and it'll take you right to her merch line. So thank you very much, Brenda. So let me change this up again. I'd like to thank Jeremy Barker for all my equipment and software. Now, this summer, you're going to see even more upgrades and changes as I will begin candidate interviews, especially after the primary. In first week of April, I'm going to go talk to a really good friend of mine who's running for state representative. So you're going to start seeing more interviews and hopefully more people on the porch. And Jeremy's going to upgrade me with some more hardware. So by golly, we're going to accidentally start looking like professionals. Although I won't act like one, and I won't get this stuff done unless I have my intern, but it's the thought that counts. So let me change this around here. I'm hoping here that I get this right. And I didn't. Oh well. Here we go. Now, let me just be patient with me here. If you would, I have a link tree now. And I'm getting a lot of requests, a lot of you, and I do appreciate that you're trying to contact me. But a lot of you are, perhaps if I hit that. Nope, it's not working. Let me make it this way. Well, I'm having troubles here. There, well, no, that was the No Kings. Well, anyway, I tried to get the link tree up there. There, I did it. If you notice on the link tree, there's a dot between the R and the first E. Go to the link tree, because when you go to the link tree, let me take this off now. It's going to look like this. And if you scroll down at the bottom, you'll see guest speaking inquiries. I've got a lot of people that are trying to contact me with Facebook Messenger. And I don't always see those or get them in a timely manner, or sometimes I can't answer them. And if you will fill out that guest speaking inquiry, it goes right to my mailbox. And then I see it, and then I can answer you back in a timely manner. Where I did fly out before, I ain't flying as long as Taco's in charge of our air. Ain't happening. So if you would just contact me, I can zoom into meetings if it's too far to drive, or if it's in driving distance. And that doesn't mean I won't go to Virginia, Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, maybe Michigan, as long as we're not playing football then. But anyway, give me, a holler, but fill that out for any guest speaking inquiries you want. So that's what I got on those. Get that off of there. And I know some of this might be boring to you, but I got to answer these questions. And instead of doing it literally 100 times, I thought I'd do it all in one swoop. I want to thank Carmel, who helps me with answering questions and hopping online here, as she always does. And a huge thanks to Sassy, who's behind the scenes and also manages all the Substack and Blue Sky that you see and answers questions for me and keeps things straightened up. So couldn't do all that. Boy, am I missing my intern here. And I got to thank Papa for his ideas, edits, and research. See, I'm starting to build a team here, and they didn't even mean to get in on this. I have forced them in to help. But that's what happens, because this is going to be one of the most important elections of our lifetimes. So let me move on here. And mainly, I want to thank all of you, because I never dreamt this would turn into what it has turned into. But it's all of you and all of us discovering each other and learning that there are other people out there that think like we do, that wanted to do something and didn't know what to do or where to get started. And we've actually started a movement, and you all have become activists, whether you realize it or not. I couldn't be more proud of my porch sitters. You guys are wonderful, and I appreciate it. And I try to answer you as best I can. I've been having all kinds of Zuckerberg issues, but maybe now that he's lost this lawsuit, things will be a little more responsive. I did get an answer back from my complaints in the form of a survey, but they said they'd get back with me. So I don't know, but I told them all the problems I was having and everything you all were experiencing too. So hopefully it'll get resolved, our issues. Until then, if you would get back here to there's my YouTube right there. Whoops, I got to go this way. Right there. Now I've changed it. Now, if you click on that, that'll take you to YouTube. And if you want to follow me on YouTube, the people don't seem to be having near as much trouble finding me or getting online if they're going through YouTube as they are on Facebook. So give that a try. Now I'm putting up an email address right now. Hopefully that goes through. You'll see dreinhardt73@gmail.com. We are having a Southeastern Ohio get together on Sunday, March 29th. So if you live in Southeastern Ohio, as many counties, or even if you live in Ohio too, we'll even spread it out that much. We're having a like-minded get together with some candidates even might pop in at a restaurant in Jackson, Ohio on Main Street called Arch and Eddie's. And so if you all get a chance, you come. The time is from 2 to 4. Come and enjoy. And there's a lot. It don't have to be a Democrat. This is for independents. This is for recovering Republicans. It's kind of like being on the porch. This is for people, and you want to find out you're not alone and there's other people in your area that think like you do. Now, this isn't exclusively in our region. All of you from out of state and other areas, just get together. Go to the library or something and just put out a message. Hey, if you think like I do, and you don't really want to get involved with parties, or even if you do, let's just come and get together and talk, or make some coffee, or get together at a coffee shop. Because you see, when you feel isolated is when you don't show up and you think, oh, nobody thinks like me. And we go back into those dark corners we used to be in. Come into the light, get people together, enjoy each other's company, and get your numbers growing. So that's what we got. Now, wait a minute here. Oh, honey, you couldn't be any more in a Trump court cult than we are here in southeastern Ohio. Good Lordy Almighty. But you know what? That ain't everybody. And you will find out, sweetheart, that there are many people, Maryland, that think like you do. They just have stayed silent because they were afraid to use their outside voice. By golly, we have discovered them again and we're using them. So that's what I've got on the personal notes. Now, I am intentionally not going to talk about the war much. They've activated the 82nd Airborne, as most of my porch sitters know. My husband and my son are 82nd Airborne veterans, so it's just kind of a touchy evening around here. Good God only knows what the hell's going on in Taco's brain, because as of this afternoon, he was saying that the talks are going well, that the Iranians are going to give him a special present. He can't say what it is, but that's how he knows he's talking to the right people. The Iranian government entities, whomever that is, are talking to NATO. They've talked to Pakistan, and they're saying nobody with any kind of authority, decision making, nothing is talking to Taco or anybody from the United States. This man is having conversations in his head, or he's just blatantly lying so we'll think things are going better than they are. But you start watching European news and it's not going well for us. So he's activated 4,500 Marines, at least 1,500 82nd Airborne. This is not something that's going to stop soon. So I'm not going to talk about it much this evening. Probably Sunday or in one of my conniptions, I'll get into more detail. But I do have a lot of stuff to go over with you this evening. For example, Aileen Cannon. You all remember Aileen Cannon. Well, now they're asking for investigations. We've got some lawsuits going, finally, because she won't release Jack Smith's investigation. They're questioning the same way that we have. How in the world is this woman getting all of Taco's stuff? I mean, she is literally, anytime there is a draw, and this is supposed to be a random lottery system. If it has to do with Taco, she gets it. Everybody's saying she is in a big play for a Supreme Court because it looks like maybe Clarence Thomas or Alito will go. So before Cannon permanently blocked the Department of Justice from releasing Volume 2 of Special Counsel Jack Smith's report as an extension of her July 2024 dismissal of the Trump case on an appointments clause grounds, the Knight First Amendment Institute and the American Oversight set two different appeals in motion. So it's not dead yet. They have appealed her to the appellate court. The groups have tried to intervene in a shuttered case against Trump and Valet Waltinata and Mar-a-Lago property manager Carlos de Oliveira for the purpose of lifting an injunction Cannon had placed since January of 2025 and making Volume 2 public. When the denial came nearly a year later, she kept the door open for Trump and his former defendants to seek a permanent injunction. Some legal experts, like Richard Painter, and if you'll remember, Richard Painter is just as Republican, and I'm talking old school Republican, as they come, but he is a known and a renowned constitutional scholar. He's a former White House ethics lawyer under George W. Bush and has suggested that Cannon's handling of the Trump case, where she granted Trump requests for special master to review seized documents, a decision later smacked down with an appeals court, to dismissing the entire case on grounds that special counsel Jack Smith's appointment was unconstitutional. According to Painter and others, she is jockeying for position where the Supreme Court vacancy under a future Trump administration. She's 41 years old. She's a dipshit. She does not have a good legal background and has shown her true colors. This would be a disaster to put her on the court. U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon permanently barred the Justice Department from releasing Special Counsel Smith's final report describing President Donald Trump's stockpiling of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago and allegations he obstructed government efforts to reclaim them. Judge Cannon's decision to permanently block these release of these extraordinary significant report is impossible to square with the First Amendment and common law, says Scott Wilkins, senior counsel at the Knight Institute. There is no legitimate basis for its continued suppression. So more of Taco's corruption lives through Aileen Cannon. However, this is what we need to be asking people who still are in Taco's corner. If you support this clown, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm telling you, I'm just over it. Anyway, moving on. Pootie Poo recommended to Hungary's Viktor Orban an assassination attempt to help his poll numbers. The American CPAC, the conservative Christian white nationalist bunch who like to pray over Taco and said he's the anointed, is trying to help Orban, as is Taco, who gave him a reigning endorsement. Now, Orban, although he's a NATO member, is a dictator, been stealing elections. He kind of told Taco how to get it done, but it looks now like he is not able to suppress the vote because, as I have been telling you, people are showing up in such overwhelming numbers, he can't fudge this one. So, Pootie Poo decided to protect his hungry buddy. I almost slipped. Well, let's try an assassination attempt, which brings me back to when Pootie Poo got shot. That ear is just still stunningly remarkable for the way it magically healed after a 203 round went through it. Just amazing. And you never hear anything else about that. You never hear repeatedly about the young man or his family or the poor man that did lose his life. It's interesting. That's all I'm going to say. It's interesting. Thank God the Republicans don't have to wear Kotex on their ear anymore, though. That's the big thing. And we'll move on. More on the corruption and the economy. It seems that Corey Lewandowski, the paramour of cosplay Barbie Kristi Noem, that ICE has been really, really overpaying for these warehouses. These warehouses, some of them are valued at, let's say, $45 million, and we're paying $145 million. And that Lewandowski has canceled a bunch of the DHS contracts because they didn't pay him to negotiate as a special employee. Remember, he was cosplay Barbie Kristi Noem's special employee. He really wasn't a governmental employee. But it seems he's been running interference on these DHS contracts for over a year. And now it's being exposed that these people said, hey, we didn't get what we paid for. Well, isn't that interesting? Of course, it's hard to feel sorry for people that are corrupt wanting to play a corrupt game. Taco is continuing to play with the stock market. Oh, surprise there. In addition, it looks like these people that are betting on things to happen and then they do happen because you can bet on anything anymore are making a chunk of money. It's coming from the White House. They just don't specifically know who. So Taco is manipulating stock market. The Iranian deal is another example. Members of the Senate and Congress are also benefiting. For example, if you'll look here at the bond market, Taco paused his ultimatum. If you look, it went way up. Bond market was just, and he thought, oh shit, we're in trouble. So suddenly, remember, he gave him 24 hours, and then he lived up to his name, Taco, and now it's a 5-day reprieve. Look at the time scale at the bottom of that. The minute he tweeted that he wasn't going to do it, bond market dropped, which is where he wanted it. But then when Iran started speaking up, oh no, that's not true. That's not true. You see, it went back up, and now we are on a pause. But now you watch, it'll go right back up, because they're going to find out now that we're getting the 82nd and the Marines ready. So this is not good. He is completely playing the stock market, and he's got insiders doing it, and now members of Congress like, I don't know, Ohio 2's Dave Taylor have figured out the game, and they're making a mint on the stock market. So this is something else we're going to keep an eye on. Taco thinks he's just outdoing us, but he is not. All righty. And here is what is happening on our interest rates. So if you look, interest rates were starting to come down, thank God, about November 25th. Then they started, getting wonky again. He's trying to blame the Fed chair, and that's about the time he's wanting Jerome Powell removed and all that. So that's why it's going up and down. And then you see where it's noted, the conflict begins, and whoo, interest rates went back up. So my question to all of you, think back, be honest, pull out old receipts. Are you financially better off now than you were 18 months ago? Even 2 years ago under Biden? Because remember, the economy, everybody was bitching about Biden's economy. Even though he had these great jobs packages, we had work ready to go. He put all these infrastructure jobs in place that are now gone. We had people working. Are you off better off now than you were 18 months ago? Yeah, I didn't think so. So, if you'll give me a minute, I got to load some more of these. Let's see, how's Dylan do that? Move from studio. Maybe I shouldn't do this without Dylan. Load. Eleven. I know this. I cannot talk and do two things at once. And one other. And I'll keep going. All righty. So, the Taco administrations wants us to continue, and they have been betting, here we go, on what they call, wait, isn't that coming up? Okay, now nothing's working. Oh God, Dylan's gonna kill me. I have broke it. So anyway, what I would be putting up, if I could even remove this at all, delete it then. Nothing's working now. Dylan's going to kill me. Anyway, is that the jobs market under Biden is significantly been altered. And so under Biden, we had nothing but good growth. This is froze up. I don't even know if you are hearing me or not. There we go. At least I got that off, so I'm not going to mess with it anymore. So we had a very healthy jobs market under Biden. We have had zero job growth or jobs added in 6 months. Because unbeknownst to Taco, who's played around with the jobs thing, Wall Street does have people that track such things. And they issued their year-end report. And in the last 6 months, there have been zero jobs added to the jobs market. So old Elon Musk came in, cut everybody's throat that they've left it be. And now we've got zero jobs growth. Do you feel safer today than you did 18 months or 24 months ago? Has ICE made you feel safer? Do you feel safer going into the airport with ICE meandering around trying to scare people and getting paid while the TSA agents are not getting paid? Those are the big questions of the day, because you see, ICE got funded an additional $75 million to keep them covered, and TSA isn't. And they're doing nothing. They're not trained to do anything. They're just meandering around, terrorizing the citizenry, just like they did in Minnesota. However, the state of Minnesota has now sued and specifically named Blondie Pambondi, the protector of pedophiles, and cosplay Barbie Christine Ulm, to be personally liable, as well as the DOJ and DHS, for not sharing information, for not fully investigating the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. I hope all of you listened to the Bruce Springsteen song that I posted online about what's going on in Minnesota. It's not over yet, but at least most of those people have left that were part of the surge. And now Taco's looking for something to do. The warehouse thing is tanking. And there again, Congress is starting to ask the right questions. Where'd you get the money to buy all those warehouses? That wasn't in the plan. That wasn't in the budget. And like I've been saying, if you could buy them damn warehouses, how come you can't pay TSA? Just transfer the funds over. So I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Now we're working again. So we got that going there. And let me see. Now, we're going to talk about the 25th and the SAVE Act. Now, keep in mind, we have people in the Senate lying, absolutely standing in front of you lying. In Ohio, it's John Husted, but it's any of them. And everybody keeps saying, oh, it's only about voter ID. Wouldn't you want voter ID? Listen, people, we have always had to show ID to get our ballots to vote. That is nothing new. We have to do it anyway. What the issue is they want all of this other stuff. You have to have your birth certificate. If your name does not match your name on your birth certificate, then you have to jump through hoops or get a passport to prove your citizenship. And that's bullcrap. They're not even using your real ID, which brings me to question, what's little old Jimmy Hamill going to do? You know, we were born James Bowman, and then we became Jimmy Hamill, and now we're J.D. Vance. Well, I want to see what he's got to go through. Oh, but probably nothing. And the other thing is he's lumped in transgender athletes. Of course, he's making a jab at them. What's your birth certificate say and what's between your drawers, which is none of their business. So don't believe any of this crap. This is not about showing an ID because we want to have safe elections. This is about voter suppression, and it's primarily about stopping women from voting, number one. And number two, he's trying to stop, it's in the Supreme Court. They've already had the hearings this week on mail-in ballots. Now, damn it, there are people in nursing homes, or they know they're going to be out of town. Our military all use mail-in ballots and have for years. And now suddenly we can't have mail-in ballots. Well, you know why? That's because those people, their ballots come in and then they're tallied up later, and he's trying to make you think it's dishonest. Let me tell you, the people that work at boards of elections work their asses off, and they're honest. They're good citizens. They're doing a good deed to the country. This is a bunch of bull hockey, just a bunch of bull hockey. So it looks like they're going to pass it, though. There you go. So you need to remember that at the ballot box. You want to restrict my voting, buddy? I'm going to show up and show you why you shouldn't. And once they do it, we could put something in there to repeal it. So this is what's really in the SAVE Act. Now, let me see if I can get this last one up. Now, by all rights, we have a man who is insane. He has dementia. He has a severe cognitive issues. He's always had a personality disorder, and this comes from his niece, who is a trained psychologist. But we're never going to get the 25th Amendment. So everybody that keeps posting the 25th, it is never going to happen. And I'm going to tell you why. I think Jimmy Hamill would like to invoke the 25th. But you see, it's going to take 2/3 of the cabinet. It's not the Senate. It's the cabinet to say, you're right, we're in cabinet meetings and he's not fit. Except most of his cabinet are as corrupt as they can be. Most of his cabinet are already in trouble, and most of his cabinet members are going to need pardons before they exit out the door. There is no way in hell they're going to get rid of their lifeline and the man that's helping them make millions and millions off of your back. So there you go. That's why there'll never be a 25th Amendment. It's either we've got to flip this Congress and Senate to where we have enough that we can impeach him, or at least keep guardrails around him to where he is a lame damn duck. I don't want him to be a lame duck. I want him to be a crippled duck. So that's what's going on there. Okay, I apologize. This did not run as smoothly as it should have, but I'm trying, and I'm trying to bring you a good product. So let's get on to comments. Okay, so Margaret says she doesn't think so. Let's see. Sue Goldsmith. Those of us with poor eyesight can't read any of your little pictures you put up. Okay, Sue, but I'm trying anyway. Or, you know, if you're on YouTube, you can watch it on your television, which is what we do. We throw it up on the television screen and watch. Kelly says you're doing great. Well, I'm trying. Let's see. Wow, that just keeps jumping around. Kim Ely, let's see. Here we go. I'm all ready. Got your driver's license, birth certificate, passport, Girl Scout ID, and Q clearance papers. There you go. Is that what it's going to take? I mean, it is that crazy. And that's what gets me. I've had a Q clearance. I've had a secret clearance. And now I've got to prove them. Oh, my God. This is just crazy. Trump voted. Well, hell yes, he's voted in. It's always don't do what I do. I get to do it, but you don't. He's just a sorry. Yes, I want full accountability. Linda, I am glad you brought that up, because I talked about this some Sunday, and I'm going to keep talking about it, because anyone who's running for re-election or for the first time in office, I want accountability. We played kumbaya. We looked the other way the first time around, and it got us nowhere. I want full accountability. When they do something, I want it acted on now. I want it all investigated. And I don't want some milk toast, nilly willy, like we had for the last Attorney General, Merrick Garland, who doesn't want things to look political. No, they were breaking the law and you should have done your damn job and we wouldn't have been in this mess. I want full accountability. Everybody does. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can enact new laws. You can do your job and you can still have hearings for full accountability on these people. Thank you, Linda. I am so sorry that I vented, but it does make me mad. Lori says, one of my old classmates is ultra MAGA and she has been married and divorced 3 times. Can't wait to see. See, that's just it. It's going to affect a lot of these MAGA voters too. Carol says she wants him to be an imprisoned duck. Ain't that the truth? Yes, they're all crooks. They absolutely are. Thank you, Jam. I'm trying. I'm old and technology is not really my friend. Linda, Ohio doesn't like Frank LaRose. Well, we're going to get rid of Frank LaRose. We're either going to have us an Allison Russo or a Brian Hambly, but we're going to get rid of Frank Rose. I'm just doing the best I can. I don't know if I'm helping, but at least you know you're not, at least you know there's one other crazy old woman that thinks the way you do. That's all I'm saying. I know it's, I'm glad, Mary, you brought that up with these billionaire class and the Epstein class, because they're kind of mixed in together there. It's never enough. It's never enough. It's like feeding a beast. Remember the plant in the Little Shop of Horrors? They never get enough. And then after they've got all that, they want what you've got. And they want you to pay for it. It's like the school voucher program bullshit. These people are wealthy enough to send their kids to private school, and God bless them if they can. That wasn't good enough. They wanted those vouchers so that they don't have to pay as much and they only have to pay the difference. But now you're going to have to pay the difference and you can't afford it. You get that voucher, but then there's a difference to pay for if you happen to live in an area that has private schools, and then you have to pay the difference. Well, we can't afford that. Not when we have good public schools, not when we're paying taxes for public schools. But that's just it. The rich can afford it, but hell, why should I pay my money if I can get you to pay for it? I'm telling you, a poor man will share their last meal with you, and a rich man won't give you money for a cup of coffee. And that's a fact. Okay, Ann says, Senate Democrats are posting videos about the SAVE Act. They're saying if it passes, they can purge you without it. As far as I know, and Bobby or Carmel, one of you can jump on here and answer. In the state of Ohio, anyway, they will notify you by mail if you are being purged. But I don't know if they will do that after the SAVE Act. But that's why you have to keep showing, and that's why you got to keep voting. One thing about it, that means you don't sit out any votes at all. Yes, they will want to watch the birthing. Yeah, it's getting more and more like get them red robes out, girlies. I'll have to PM you what I hope for. Yeah, be very careful. I am sure that I am regularly audited by the way they're messing with me. You are the queen of computer illiteracy. I'm telling you though, you know what? Sometimes you just got to jump in if you want to do it and do it. Now, I'm still kind of timid about new things. I swear to God, Sassy will jump in the deep end and go for it. I'm kind of like, well, I might mess up. But yeah, we've got to figure it out. That's where the world's going. That's where the world's going. I am Donna, and we're going to have accountability, Francine. You better believe it. Um, the Epstein files are still in good order and coming along. And what's going to be interesting is it looks like Prince Andrew, or the former Prince Andrew Mountbatten, is going to trial, and this is going to come out at his trial. Now, what's Taco going to do? That's going to be interesting. Laura says, chatted up a guy who was gathering signatures for voter ID. If you want a mail-in ballot to vote, you have to include the last 4 digits of your social number on the ballot. Well, that's a bunch of hooey. Then all they got to do is get no. I tell them, none your business. Everything for the government, have Congress and the Senate do it all the same. Yeah, I'm just kind of done with them. The press needs to get more vocal and press it. I know, it just kills me, especially Caroline Levitt. They never ask the hard questions. Even what used to be the good media guys, they can't even ask the hard questions. They're not even asking the Republican senators the hard questions. And if you notice, more and more really good news anchors are leaving. Scott McFarlane went to the Midas Touch. Well, bless his heart. And he's already back on the job as the senior correspondent for Midas Touch in DC, and he is asking the questions they're supposed to. So we're getting it done. Well, now we can't say that. I just hope that it happens on the golf course where he wants to be. You're darn right on Garland. Shame on him. Shame on him. Good evening, ma'am. All it's sad we're going to have a hard time voting. No, we're just going to get it done. You know, think of your military. Sometimes they have hard days and they're in rain or they're in extreme heat. They're in horrific conditions, and yet they get the job done. So I want you to think about that. You've got to learn to adapt and overcome, so that we are an army of gray-haired women that are going to, damn it, vote. We're going to show up. They're not going to take it from us. They're not going to take what we fought hard to win back for women's rights. They're not going to take Title IX from us. They're not going to take back our ability to move up in jobs and to get good pay. We're just going to have to show up and vote. And we'll figure it out. If you need a ride somewhere that you can't get there to vote, then you call somebody and you ride together, but you show up and vote. And just about every state has early voting. So don't wait till election day. Get in there as early as you can and cast your ballot if they're going to knock down mail-in voting. But we will vote. And that's what he's not counting on. We will vote. Just think about what the suffragettes went through to get to vote, but they did it, and that's what we're going to do. Oh, well, thank you for telling everybody to watch me. I don't know that I'm amazing. I'm just pissed off. Lovely Red. Oh, yes, I know. Now, see, I don't. Now, Brian Donalds, yeah, he's the one who wanted to put Mikey Johnson in. Well, look what you got there. I don't know about James Fishback, never heard of him. Just write in a Democrat's name. Don't vote for either one of them repugs. Yeah, I tell you what, this whole deal in Iran, for some reason, he has admitted that he did not need anything the intelligence community told him. He did not get any information. He just felt it in his bone spurs. Well, he thought Iran was going to go as well as Venezuela did. And boy, it didn't. And Iran's attitude, I'm telling you, them people are like, bring it on. They will fight to the bitter end. And so Iran is going so badly that he may release the Epstein files to get our mind off of Iran, because he's really screwed the pooch on this one. He truly has. Yes, Cindy. I can't say that. We don't want to get anybody in trouble. Now, Kathy, I'm like you. Papa and I've been married 42 years. I've been a Parker a hell of a lot longer than I was a Miller, but that was my maiden name. That is bullshit. So I agree with you. Greed is powerful. Yes. Remember Gordon Gekko in the movie in the 80s about Wall Street? Greed is good. Yeah. They want to bankrupt public schools, so there's only church schools. Yeah, well, churches aren't doing so well either. But yeah, they're bankrupting public education. And I agree, Francina, vouchers piss me off. But here's what also pisses me off. And again, I'm going to have to talk about Ohio because that's where I'm at. We have unconstitutionally funded public schools for over 25 years. It is in our Constitution how schools are supposed to be funded. Repeatedly, the Ohio Supreme Court has knocked down how we're funding our schools here in Ohio. Now we've come up with this voucher shit, which started on the East Coast and went west. This is some more of the Koch brothers nonsense. And all we have to do is fund them the way that they're supposed to be funded in the Constitution, and all would go well. But as long as we keep having citizens who vote in these super majorities and have Republicans all up and down, it's never going to do right. So they want to keep coming back and asking for more taxes. My answer is yes, I'm a fan of public education, but why should I keep paying more taxes when what we need to do is for people to stop voting against the best interest of their children, their grandchildren, their community, and make the state legislature fund our public schools the way they are legally supposed to. And that's all I'll say about that. We women need to vote. Yes, every one of these assholes out. You are absolutely, unequivocally correct. Oh, I love Canadians. I do truly. There is so much inequity in this country. It's getting worse by the day. Yes, it is. It is. We had fought so hard for so many generations, and now here we are sliding backward. But as I told you all, it's not that we are entirely in a full-fledged civil war. If you haven't had the chance yet, please watch the series, The Gray House. I hate to say it, it could be a whole lot worse. We're just not going to let it get a whole lot worse. You're seeing posts here in California that our open primary takes the top 2 vote getters to put forward for state offices. So Democrats are splitting up voters so much that that's the problem with ranked choice voting. I know a lot of people are interested in it here in Ohio, but first of all, you've got to have an electorate that'll sit down there and rank. And then that's the problem. You can have 2 of the same party. So I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, too much personal information. Sheila says the states are required to give them extremely personal information under the SAVE Act as well. Donna says private Catholic schools cost $9,000 per year per child. And honey, I think that's kind of light. A lot of them are even more than that. California, there's a lot of people running for governor. A sheriff from Riverside, I saw that. And they're saying he had no cause to do it, no court order to do it. He just felt it in his bone spurs too, apparently. Tina said he needs to fall down a rabbit hole. I wake up every day and pray that he hasn't. I think he has used up that one brain cell, Tina. I think he has. Hey, Wendy, your grandparents own a small farm in rural New York. During the Depression, they fed anyone that stopped at their door. The big shots in town did not. Yeah, and that's a proven fact. They have shown that. There's a big mega church in Chillicothe, Ohio. And a young man who had a TV camera, so I mean, they really embarrassed him, sat like somebody needing money as they all filed into church on Sunday, and not one vehicle stopped to ask if he needed help, what he needed, give him $1, anything. And I mean, they were all in fancy cars, and this is a huge church, and there was a lot of cars that went by. So, it happens. I'm the oldest of 8, and no one ever knocked on our door that didn't get fed. And Papa came from a big family, and the same thing. I'm telling you, you're used to feeding more, and you'll never let anybody go away hungry. I read the UK is requesting unredacted files from the US. I think the king has got a bunch of unredacted files too. The 4 interviews with the 13-year-old were read aloud in Congress. Yes. And they say they're going to start reading. In fact, they say if they have to go to a filibuster, they're just going to start reading them all. Prince Andrew may end. Boy, there are a lot of people that die around this Epstein thing. I think Ghislaine Maxwell may have wanted to stay in a maximum security prison instead of where she is. Now, Francina, the Democrats have proposed a bill that if anyone in the government is not funded and getting paid, Congress doesn't get paid. As you can imagine, it hadn't gone anywhere. Okay, Carmel. Ohio has the last 4 Social Security or driver's license on an interior envelope. Once the information is confirmed, the ballot is removed and stored for election night. No ID on the ballot. Thank you. And she knows she's on the board of elections. So thank you very much, Carmel. But that's just in Ohio. I don't know what's going on in other states. Sheila, purchase certified copy of marriage license now. And that's the other thing. I've got a copy of my birth certificate, but they want a certified copy, which means I got to go through the Capitol, and that's going to be a nightmare. Wendy says we did that. They had cows, chickens, bees, vegetables. Yep, we always produced our own. Now I got garden boxes, but we can still do it. Yes, Brenda. There you go. And Papa and I, every year, I always post, if you need a ride to go vote, give us a holler. And most people will. We will get anybody to the polls that needs to get there within our county. Can you explain what on our birth certificate has on it that proves the name of? It doesn't. Your birth certificate, Linda, only proves that you were born in a particular area in a particular state of the United States. So your birth certificate is to do 2 things. Now, formally, they're saying it's to prove you're a citizen. So your birth certificate will prove that you were born in the United States, and we have birthright citizenship until Taco and the Supreme Court take that away, which is also in front of them. That's another case that they've heard. The second thing is your gender is on your birth certificate. So they are going after the trans community. Your certified birth certificate, if you change your gender and did not go and change your birth certificate, which is a legal process, they're going after those people. But you can go to court and legally have your birth certificate changed. It's just a lot of people don't know that or do that. But they're going after the trans community too. That's what a lot of this is about. So, and then women, because then if you have been married and divorced, you have to come up with a certified copy of every marriage license and a certified copy of every divorce to show how your names kept changing and why it doesn't match your birth certificate. I kid you not. If you have been widowed and remarried, you'll have to have a certified copy of a death certificate and then a certified copy of a marriage certificate. Yes, Renee, and I posted those dates again, and I'll post it again, I think. Maybe I better not mess with it. Anyway, I posted those and I have them posted on our Facebook page so you can look there. Oh, Janice likes me pissed off. And Carol said she likes me pissed off. And Francine is pissed. We all ought to be pissed off. Listen, if you ain't pissed off, there is something really wrong with you right now. And Sherry says, why do you think ICE is at the polls? Intimidation or haul people away? Oh, they think a little bit of both, but they're not going to. Let me tell you, they are sorely mistaken if they think that they are going to piss off most of the people in this country, because this country wasn't founded on freaking fear. They just may have opened up a can of worms they don't want. They're used to chasing after people that are trying to get here, or they're, within the country, and you come, especially down here in Appalachia, there's areas of the South. I know there's areas in the Pacific Northwest. You don't want to take a stick and hit that hornet's nest. So we're not going to be intimidated. If they're at your polling place, walk by and say, have a nice fucking day. Excuse me, I did say it. I'm sorry. But they cannot stop you. That's against the Constitution. They cannot have armed guards at your polling place. That's against the law, even federal. I find it reprehensible that these extra requirements are considered so many of our male counterparts are okay. That was my argument the last week at the luncheon. What makes you better than me that I've got to cough this stuff up and you don't? Margaret, right, and that's what Carmel was saying. And then that's inside of another envelope, so it's concealed from the public. Reba has offered free rides to anyone who needs to get to the polls. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, well, I hope Texas Paul does. I'd love to talk to him. I'd like to talk to Richard Ojeda. And oh, God, I really want to talk to Mary Trump. That would make my day. That would make all of our day. That would really be a good show, wouldn't it? All righty. Well, I've kept you all over an hour, but I was just really mad today. Just really ticked off. Well, we reneged on the deal with Ukraine. We had Iran completely under surveillance by agreement. And the first thing that Taco did his first term was do away with the Iran nuclear deal, because John Kerry did it for Barack Obama. And my God, we couldn't have a black man outdo him. Now, that's just all there is to it. So he just threw it away. And we lost all of our inspectors that we had in there. And that's all we needed. And that's what we needed. Now we don't have a clue what they're doing. And Iran's like, we made a deal with you. You walked, screw you. And that's their attitude. We need a perp walk if he dies. They may declare him a martyr, and we definitely don't want that. We don't want the succession advancing to Vance and Johnson. That's absolutely correct. So we got to hold off on that till after January of 2027, when Mikey is no longer the speaker. Then we can talk about that. There was a guy who came in to Minnesota during the protest. He said that old gray-haired ladies are the ones who are going to get something done, and they fight like hell. You're damn right. We did it in the 60s and 70s. Dust the cobwebs off the head. We can do her again, because I will not be intimidated. Now he says they're coming closer to a deal with Iran. They've offered him I know, but he can't say what the gift is. The gift is they're saying, dude, you are talking to yourself. So, all righty. Oh, Democrat flipped a seat in Florida. Good job. Good job. Let me see if we have anything else. I think most of the Dens running for governor in California. Yeah, they do. My God, there's 937 of them. That's always a real grab bag race in California, though. Y'all get a little carried away with running. Mamaw, tell me what you know about if the bill passes on voting that would give them the rights to veto votes, which gives them the opportunity to. Gracie, I don't know. Right now, we've had 2 constitutional ballots pass here in Ohio. One was for codifying our reproductive rights. The other one was legalizing marijuana. And the state legislature is kind of thrown that out the window. It's kind of like school funding, and they're doing what they want. Already they've made hemp and CBD products illegal as of this weekend. All of those had to go. And now they're still playing around with reproductive rights and the abortion issue, which is legally in our Constitution because nobody tells them no and they think they can do what they want. So the only issue is you got to remind people, stop voting those people back into office. I mean, that's how you break it, is you stop it. But as long as you keep voting in the same, that's the very definition of insanity, is to keep doing the same thing over and over and thinking you're going to get a different outcome. All righty, gang. Well, I'm going to let you off of here. This was I don't know if it was a good Taco Tuesday for you, but it was for me because I got to vent in a safe space, and I thank you very much. So anyway, I want y'all to stay salty. I might be on in the morning, but like I said, I've got an event to go to tomorrow. I'll be on Sunday with Coffee with Mamaw. We'll talk about how the No Kings went. Please be sure you go to No Kings, find you a place, enjoy it. Remember, democracies are won. They're not just taken for granted. And so we've got to show them that we have been here for 250 years and we haven't needed a king yet. And we're not going to start now. So stay salty. Use them outdoor voices this weekend. And I love y'all. Bye-bye.